We're back with another FineScale Modeler Weekly.
Yep, and that means it's time for more information and fun with the FSM editors.
Starting with a roundup of some exciting new products,
including the latest 1/48th scale Mustang from Eduard, the P-51B.
This all-new kit features the same finesse in the surface engravings that we've seen in other Eduard kits on the major airframe parts, as well as the separate ailerons, elevators, and flaps.
Cockpit highlights include the multi-part seat and controls, venting, plumbing, and wiring for the equipment and fuel tanks behind the seat, detailed sides, an optional decal or photo-etched metal instrument panel. Also inside are structurally complete tailwheel and main gear bays, and the ducting for the ventral radiator.
Other things of note, optional exhausts, well-molded wheels and tires with diamond tread, detailed gear doors, one-piece openings for the nose and radiator intakes, and optional birdcage or Malcolm hood canopies with masks to aid painting. Underwing stores include 75 and 110-gallon drop tanks. Photo-etched metal supplies panels, placards, seat harness, and cockpit details.
6 aircraft are included among the marking options. Bonnie B-2, flown by Ace Captain Don Bierbauer with the 353rd Fighter Squadron in June 1944. Birdie's Bet, Shoot Your Fated with the 79th Fighter Squadron in November 1944. A Mustang 3 from number 309 Polish Squadron RAF. Chinese Laundry from the 325th Fighter Squadron flown by Lieutenant Harold Kick in Italy, November 1944. A P-51C wearing a terrific shark mouth from the 26th Fighter Squadron at Kunming, China in 1944, and a well-weathered machine from the 118th Tactical Reconnaissance Squadron at Chengkung, China in May 1945.
Typical of Eduard, this ProfiPack kit looks superb, and there are plenty of details and appealing marking options.
In 2023, Round 2 released a 2021 Ford Bronco under its AMT brand.
Now it is followed up with the 2023 Ford Bronco Outer Banks Edition in 1/25th scale.
Nicely molded, the body captures the muscular lines of the Bronco well. The rear cover is separate and designed to be removable to change up the appearance. The hood is also separate, but no engine is provided.
Instead, the oil pan, transmission, and transfer case are provided. Much of the lack of an engine is covered by the extensive front suspension and bash plate. Underside detail is completed with the frame, pan details, front and rear axles, exhaust, and fuel tank. Soft vinyl tires fit over one-part rims.
The platform interior has detailed side panels with a separate inner tailgate plate, seats, center console, dash, overhead panel with visors, and inner plates for the roll cage.
The windshield and door windows go in from outside, and the clear parts for the cover are tinted. Bumpers, wheel flares, posable running boards, and the spare wheel finish the rugged Ford.
The decals supply lights, badging, and license plates.
This is a good-looking kit, and it's great to see modern vehicles on model store shelves.
Modelers like books almost as much as they like kits.
Here are a few you might want.
Although they aren't expansive volumes, the books in Mushroom Model Publications Color and Scale series tackle one subject in detail.
Number 3 is Messerschmitt Bf-109Fs flown by Luftwaffe Aces. The 16-page softcover opens with 1/72nd and 1/48th scale drawings of the F variants and finishes with color profiles with extensive captions.
Sticking with Messerschmitts, number 4 looks at the G model in Finnish Air Force service, including scale drawings and color profiles.
The French reconnaissance Potez 6311 is the subject of number 5. Although the plans are limited to 1/72nd scale, the color profiles offer some bright options.
Number 6 covers the Henschel HS-126 in Luftwaffe service, again with only 1/72nd scale plans and plenty of options in the profiles.
The final book we have this time shifts attention to a fighter that is just now entering service, China's J-20 Mighty Dragon. In the 82-page softcover, Abrams traces the 5th-generation aircraft's origins, development, and deployment in the context of China's rise in stature. Plenty of photos and profiles are included.
If the P-3 Orion floats your boat, check this out.
From Caracal, here's a set of markings for the 1/72nd scale Orion designed for the Hasegawa kit.
Printed by Cartograph, the set has 7 options for U.S. Navy P-3 and EP-3 aircraft, including a P-3B from VP-10, the 500th Orion a P-3C from VP-26, an overall gray machine from VP-30, a high-vis plane from VP-48, a P-3A in VP-66 service, and a pair of EP-3E, one from VQ-2, the other from VQ-1. Stencils are included.
Finally, we have the return of a popular kit.
From Italeri, here's the 1/35th scale LVT-4 water buffalo.
Although it's nearly 25 years old, this still builds into a really nice looking model.
The running gear attaches to the suspension molded into the outer and inner walls. The well has posable wooden seats, ramp, and walls under the deck. The tracks are vinyl, and a new set of photo-etched parts give shields for the 50 cals mounted at the front of the bed.
Also new are the cartograph decals with 4 marking options. A British 5th Royal Tank Regiment LVT-4 during the Rhine crossing in spring 1945. A British 75th Royal Tank Regiment vehicle from the crossing of the Elbe River in 1945. A British 2nd Commando Brigade transport at Comacchio Lake in northern Italy in April 1945. And a U.S. Marine Corps LVT in the Pacific in 1945.
A decent kit with interesting marking options, what's not to like?
Look for a review of the P-51 at FineScale.com in the near future.
Where you can also find show galleries from all the shows that FSM covered in 2024.
That's a ton of great models to look at. Go there now.
Rotary tools, they can be super useful at the workbench. If you're looking to grind off pour plugs off of resin parts, if you're looking to thin plastic parts so that you can get scale thin doors and hatches, or if you're looking to put rust holes into a wheel well, they can be really helpful for doing that. They can be useful for taking and grinding wood parts down, cutting them, even doing sculpting. There are so many different things that you can use rotary tools for that we felt that it was a good idea to just kind of come in and show you what some of the kinds of rotary tools we have at the FSM workbench. We've got 3 different kinds right here, all of them from Proxxon and all of them used here at FSM. Let's start by talking about the 2 largest rotary tools that we have at the FSM workshop. The IBS-E and the FBS 115E. Both of these rotary tools have 100-watt electrical motors, and they operate from 5,000 to 20,000 RPM, and that speed is adjustable by a dial on either of them. The IBS-E has as you can see, I think a more utilitarian, if we were to describe it, a more utilitarian look. You really kind of feel like you're using a power tool when you use this one. As opposed to the FBS 115E, it has a little bit more of an ergonomic shape to it. Better for using as a, in that sort of ballpoint pen or pencil sort of position. The IBS-E has the on-off switch up here in back behind the dial for dialing in the speed. And you can see that it goes from 5, indicating 5,000 RPM, all the way up to 20, indicating 20,000 RPM. Similarly, the 115E goes from 5 to 20,000, just as we had explained earlier. And the difference here is that the on-off switch is up underneath, away from here. This is just a matter of preference for me. It's kind of a mixed bag. I really like the ergonomic shape of the 115E. However, I do not like, when using it, I don't like where the placement of this switch is. For just how I am, which is clumsy, it's too easy to just bump into and turn on. So I really like where the switch is on this one. However, the IBS-E, it comes with a collet up front. And here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wrench here and show you how to take that out. So we just move that, depress this little button here, that locks that in place. Use the wrench to undo this, and you're able to loosen that and then place your bit in there. If you want to replace the collet for a different size, you can take that completely off, take the collet out, ding, just like that, replace it with a different collet from the set, and then just tighten it back in, put your bit in there, put this over the whole deal, and tighten it down. Pretty easy, right? What's nice about the 115E is that it comes with a 3-jaw chuck. So you just loosen that up, put your bit in, and then tighten it back down, finger tight, and then you're good to go. Those are the basic differences between these two. As we said before, 100-watt motors, 5,000 to 20,000 RPM. So you're gonna get about the same sort of power out of each of them. Let's take a listen, shall we? So the IBS-E, it's at 5,000, and we'll just slowly dial it up. Not too bad. Not as loud as a vacuum cleaner. And then we take the 115E. About the same, which shouldn't be too shocking since the same motors are in each of them. So the other basic differences are what come in the sets. In the IBS-E, you get this really cool case with a handle, which is nice, and forgive the dust because, you know, we do actually do work. But you come a variety of bits, a couple of small micro drills, a brass brush, this wrench that I showed you guys earlier, a selection of collets to accommodate different size shanks, and then in this one, there's a polishing stone, some cutting discs, and other grinding wheels. For the 115E, again, a nice case. This one doesn't have a handle. You're gonna have to forgive me. I put this, it's a stunt sander with the bit in there because I left this at my workbench at home. So, but basically it's another one of these things that is in there with some sanders and this bit that go along with it. And then of course, as with the other one, there is a brass brush in there, and then some cutting discs, a polishing wheel, and some grinding stones. So those are the big differences between the two biggest rotary tools that we have in the FSM workshop. Which brings us to the Micromot 60E, which is my personal favorite. Not only because it comes with this handy dandy case like the others did, but because of its slim design. Just like the IBS, it does come with a selection of grinding bits, cutting wheels, a polishing stone, other grinding wheels here, a couple of cutters, and this wire brush. If you're just gonna buy this set, that's what it comes with. It does have a selection of collets to hold the bit. If there was one thing that I would change about the design of this particular rotary tool, it's that I would love to have a 3-jaw chuck up here instead of collets. But it works beautifully with these collets. And then it does operate at 5,000 to 20,000 RPM. The trade-off for having this slim design is that the motor inside is going to be smaller than the other two. The other two, 100 watts, this is a 40-watt motor, so it's not as powerful. And then it plugs into this transformer, and then the transformer plugs into the outlet. Here's the transformer, here's the plug from the rotary tool that goes into the transformer, you'll see that there are 3 prongs there, and they match this way. You can't plug it in the wrong way, so these all go into the tool like that. Make sure when you plug it in that the tool is set to 0 and not to 5 or 20 or anything else, because that could be dangerous. Don't have a bit in there when you plug it in. That could be dangerous too. So there it is. Not bad. And you can see that it's very maneuverable. You can hold on to it just like a pen. It's easier to hold on to than either of those other tools. You can alter your grip pretty easily. You can get into fairly tight places. I have been using this one fairly recently on a ship model. Anyway, let's go ahead and slap a decibel meter on this. Not bad. Pretty comparable to the other 2, maybe a little bit less. But this one here is my personal favorite. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that Proxxon has an alternate transformer base that you can purchase for use with the Micromot 60E. They call it the NG2S. What it is it's basically the same thing as what this is. You plug it in up here, but it comes with, what was that, 12 holes for holding various bits that maybe you want to make sure that you have out and readily available. And it also has this little stand that comes off the side, which is kind of cool, right? I've been a fan of rotary tools for a long time. I've had many different brands, many different styles, and you know, do you absolutely need one? No. But can it be useful at your workbench? It sure can. So what are we doing here?
Well, it's a new year. We're like 2 weeks in. And I'm sure that there are many people out there who, as is customary on New Year's, came up with some resolutions, which they've probably already broken. I know I have. But I did decide...
Wait a minute. It's funny that he should say that because we haven't hit New Year's yet.
I thought I would actually set a resolution I could hopefully keep.
Okay.
And that's a modeling resolution.
All right.
And my modeling resolution is to finish more than 2 models this year.
Okay.
So, because last year I think I finished 2.
Okay.
2024 I finished 2, maybe 3.
Okay.
But I'd like to finish, my aim would be to finish at least 6.
Wow. That's okay. Good for you.
One every couple months.
Nice.
So
I hate resolutions.
Oh,
I don't do them.
Sure.
I don't do them. But in the spirit of this whole thing, I'll go ahead and I'll make one. I resolve to finish.
Can I have a prediction? Let me see if I can predict here.
What was the
great whatever it was?
Karnak?
Karnak, yes. You're going to finish something that involves horses, right?
I am. I resolve to finish the Budweiser Clydesdale 8-horse hitch this year. And well before Build a Model Month, okay? I got a deadline. I got a birthday that I got to get this thing done for and out of the way. So that means that I got to work less on FSM projects and more on that project.
So just to be clear, which birthday is it? Like the 300th birthday of the United States?
No. And I'm not telling you what birthday it is because that's personal.
I'm being facetious, Tim.
All right. So those are our resolutions. You want to build 6 models, and I just want to finish at least that one.
Do you guys have modeling resolutions? Let us know if you do. You can put those in the comments below or email them to editor@finescale.com.
And that's it for FineScale Modeler Weekly.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
I want the name Bierbauer. I just want to be known as Bierbauer.
That does seem like a pretty cool name. Energy.
Go on.
Get.
Rotary tools. Jeez. Rotary tools. Maybe I shouldn't cover my mouth. So, I did that right. I did that right.
Nothing to see here.
No.